The untold story of the city of New Orleans. Today is February, I think today is the 20th, 2014. This is Elder Kasner. Those steps leading up to that porch that you see right there was my home from the age of about 5 all the way up till about 14. If you look around, you can see all these were houses, but now it's nothing but empty lots. This is the lower 9th Ward in New Orleans. I just decided to drive by and take a few pictures, and I thought, why not try to document some of it. I'm walking down the street called Miro, which is where I grew up at for a portion of my life. I'm headed towards a street called La Manche, which is where my grandparents owned the house, their main house, and they pretty much owned the house that I lived in. My grandfather owned 4 houses. My mom had one. A few of my aunts and uncles had the others. This is La Manche Street in the lower 9th Ward. You can see there's been a couple of homes rebuilt, but for the most part, nothing. This house right here used to belong to a lady named Miss Johnny. You can see it's still the original house, but they've raised it off the ground about 3 or 4 feet. I'm not sure if somebody's living in it or not. The Andrews family used to live in that house. This blue house you see sitting right there, that's about 10 feet off the ground, was owned by the McFadden family, and one of their siblings is in it. This property you see here with the garden is my grandparents' property. Right where you see that little shed area with that slab was the exact spot that my grandparents' house sat on. The pine tree that my grandfather planted when I was a little kid is still standing. As you can see, it's called, I don't even know what it's called now, the La Manche Community Garden, I guess. It's pretty funny that somebody has a garden on this land, because that's what my grandfather used to do. He managed the garden. He used to get up early in the morning, about 5 o'clock, and be out in the garden picking okra, butter beans. He had tomatoes. He grew carrots. I used to think he was crazy, but he did it all. Now I kind of understand. When you go to the supermarket, don't know what you're getting. But all these lots you can see over here, guys, this lot right here was a family. Those 2 lots right there was a family. That lot on the corner was a family. That building you see over there is an apartment section of Bailey Grocery Store, which is on the corner of Caffin and Galvez. The bottom was a grocery store. They used to lease out the top to rent to people. We're now approaching the corner of Galvez and La Manche Street. By the time I reached high school, we had moved onto Galvez Street, which is another property that my grandfather owned. If we look down Galvez Street toward the south, you'll see that it still looks devastated, like Katrina just hit about 6 months ago, and it's been 9 years. As far as the eye can see, there's nobody back. It's just lots full of weeds, a random house here and there. Here comes a school bus coming down the street, and right when that school bus hits that crack, our house used to shake from the city bus. Walking down towards the lot I used to live on. Be tough not to cry, because I usually always break down at about this point. By now I think I've seen enough times where it kind of sunk in that the neighborhood will never be the same again. All these were houses. Again, that was Bailey Grocery Store. And right here on this property, where you see that concrete block in the middle of that lot, was a part of our fireplace. And straight directly across where you can see the other house way in the distance is the second house I grew up in. But right here where we're looking right now was 5615 North Galvez Street. The house that Elder Kasner grew up in before he moved on to the University of Washington. We're coming up on one of the busiest sections in the lower 9th Ward. This is the intersection of Caffin and Galvez. Had a lot of black-owned businesses here. Like I said, the building to the right here was called Bailey Grocery Store. It's a local grocery store where everybody went. to buy their groceries if they couldn't make it to Swagman or Winn-Dixie supermarket. Over there on that corner used to be a H&W drugstore, which you can see half the W over there. In later years moved to that side. Right here on this corner used to be Pierre dry cleaning business. There was a TV repair business over there. Before H&W rebuilt this place, Mr. Edwards had a shoe shop. You can see a church in the distance. That other building you see in the distance down there was called Big Chief. It was a hamburger place. Lee and Purvis Hair Center was in this block, along with Dr. Carter's clinic. Like I said, a lot of local businesses. This was a busy intersection. I don't think a night ever passed when I didn't hear a gunshot go off on this corner. It's a pretty rough neighborhood in my childhood. This, like I said, was Bailey Grocery Store right there. A friend of mine, Bobby, had a trucking business, and as you can see, his trucks are still down here. That's probably one of his there. He used this lot to store all of his trucks. It looked like he's still using it. The Barrier family used to live on this lot right here. Miss Clara, it backed up to our property. Miss Clara was a great baker, had a lot of kids. They all looked just alike. My Aunt Sula married one of the boys, Paul Barrier. As you can see here is Bobby's truck spot. All the way down in the distance on the left is Oliver Bush Playground, where we did a community picnic, youth summit, and basketball clinic just a few days ago. That building over there where you see the sign that says Galvez Goodies used to be called Parker Convenience Store. One of the places that sold liquor, along with Bailey Grocery. All these places are bringing back a lot of memories. You can see the sign that says Caffin on one side and Galvez on the other. The first 18 years of Eldridge Rickaza's life was spent right here. Like I said, you look into the distance, all you see is empty, vacant lots. I don't think it'll ever be the same.